Ohio Task Force 1 is preparing for the worst in case they're ever called into action.
This week they are taking a 32-hour course preparing for disasters similar to the ones they responded to earlier this year. The group spent part of August in Hawaii on the island of Maui, helping to search what was left from the deadly wildfires. 3 canines and their handlers spent nearly 2 weeks on the island. Days after their return from Hawaii, Ohio Task Force 1 then hit the road to Florida. 47 members plus 2 canines were stationed in Georgia in preparation for Hurricane Aaliyah. The region only saw minor damage and Task Force 1 returned home on September 1st. Now, this is what Task Force 1 is now faced with.
Today, the team was joined by a select group of first responders from around the country and Canada to learn advanced search and rescue techniques. 2 News reporter Aaliyah Seabrooks got an inside look at the training and is asking questions about how the work being done now saves lives.
Ohio is home to one of 2 sites in the country that trains emergency responders to become heavy equipment rigging specialists. Here, technicians learn how to work together in search and rescue scenarios. Crews drilling into concrete and cutting metal. Both skills necessary to rescue individuals trapped in rubble or damaged structures. All 24 participants are matched with 1 instructor, learning advanced techniques of heavy equipment rigging. Several response agencies across the country and the Ohio National Guard in attendance, joining members of the Ohio Task Force 1 for the highly selective training. A longtime dream for members of the task force like Nate Wyatt.
Success for me is I gain that confidence in making sure that I know if I were to deploy as a heavy rigging specialist, I have the confidence to complete the task.
It takes many years to be able to participate in this specialized training, requiring time as a part of the task force before you can be considered. Rescue Team Manager Michael Mole was a part of Ohio Task Force 1 when they responded to the building collapses on 9/11 and has since helped develop this training program. He says that what participants learn are the exact techniques they use in real-life rescues, like the team's recent deployment to Surfside, Florida.
And over the past 2 decades, we've forged that relationship and continue to improve the level of training to the point where now Ohio is recognized as one of the National Centers of Excellence by FEMA.
Exercises teach responders how to use cranes and other heavy rigging equipment in disaster environments. Task forces across the country are trying to increase the number of responders who are trained for this kind of work.
There are not many of the people trained in this. Each task force probably only has a dozen people on their task force trained to this. So we're trying to increase those numbers so that operations are more efficient when we do get called out to these building collapses.
Ohio Task Force 1 tries to hold this training annually, receiving money from FEMA every other year to make sure it continues. In Dayton, Aaliyah Seabrooks, 2 News.